the regular season finale for San Jose State football today as they will face off against the Wolfpack at Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas. Hello, everyone. I'm Ryan Carlson along with Max Miller, Derek Au, and Matthew Gonzalez. And it is going to be quite the game tonight in Las Vegas against the 5-0 Spartans and the 6-1 Nevada Wolfpack in a neutral site for both teams. No fans allowed. It's win and you're in for the Mountain West Championship game next Friday, December 19th. It's Saturday. Next Saturday, December 19th. It should be exciting. Spartans are coming off a huge win at Hawaii, where they had to pivot from their scheduled home game and fly out to the islands to face the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. They got that win 35-24 and had a tremendous start to that game. 21-0 was the score after the first quarter, and Tyler Nevins really got going in that one, Max.
I mean, all I can say is I called it. Don't get me wrong. Tyler Nevins was great, but he was not the lead back. Yes, he did lead the team in carries, but Kyrie Robinson was in there in most situations. Kyrie Robinson had a great game, 17 carries, 111 yards, and a touchdown. Tyler Nevins, as mentioned before, 16 carries, 152 yards, 2 touchdowns on that long touchdown run of 72 yards. And when he ran that ball in, I was like, man, did I call it or what? But overall, I mean, they made it nice. They made it easy. Nick Starkel didn't have to do too much. And overall, the defense played well. And I think once they got up to that big lead, they let Hawaii back into it. But it's with a big lead. So they bent and didn't break per usual. Great run game, which is what we always say is a key. And maybe this is a jumping off point.
The Spartans went somewhere over the rainbow.
Might have to cut that out.
Oh, I know. It's okay. You know, it's a respect to 1939. You know, Spartans have been undefeated since 1939. Wizard of Oz came out in 1939. And I believe it was Gone with the Wind, as our Ralph Nichols pointed out during one of our class sessions this week. So film studies, I need to take that probably for my last semester. But yeah, what a game from the Spartan rushing attack. They just showed up. Volcanoes erupt once in a great while in the Aloha State, but it was the rushing volcano that erupted. Tyler Nevins and Kyrie Robinson really just came out and balled out to play. Nick Starkel, when he was needed, he came through. The defense played phenomenal late in the second half, and they're going to go from 86-degree weather to 59-degree night, where they're going to be playing the Sam's Club album from the Killers, and then Elvis will be playing Viva Las Vegas. So a lot of gambles being made by the Spartans this year. So far, they've paid off, and it's like a deal with the blackjack table. And the Spartans, they're the last 3 teams remaining in this confusing but interesting conference title picture.
Yeah, most definitely. Nick Starkel threw for 167 yards, 2 touchdowns at Hawaii. And post-game, he said that every game so far this season, there has been one drive where the offensive huddle comes together. And he says, guys, this is the drive right here. This is the drive. And it seems like he said there's been one drive like that every single game. And at Hawaii, there was an 18-play drive that was capped off with a touchdown. And that seemed to be the drive, Max.
Yeah, I mean, at that time, the score was 21-17. Hawaii had just opened up the second half with a touchdown. So it was 21-17, and 18 plays, 7 minutes and 31 seconds later, and 2 fourth-down conversions, San Jose State turned it into a touchdown run from Kyrie Robinson. In that drive, there were some costly penalties, starting with an offside call on Hawaii during the kickoff. Hawaii also had to use 2 touchdowns, which messed up their clock management. Used 2 timeouts, not touchdowns, my apologies. They used 2 timeouts of the 3 from the entire half on the second drive of the second half. So if they were going to keep the game close, they did not have good clock management late. There was no way for them to stop the clock other than first downs until the ball was placed per the rules. But 18 plays, 7.5 minutes after Hawaii went on a 12-play, 5-minute drive. I mean, there's 3 minutes left in the third quarter, and there's been 2 drives completed. I don't know what else could have been done any more perfectly. 2 fourth-down conversions. Tyler Nevins, a 3-yard run, and I believe, and another 2-yard run from Tyler Nevins, both 4th and 1s. And Nick Starkel said, this is the drive, and they capped it off with a touchdown and pulled away, and there was no looking back after that.
The final score ended up being 35-24. Spartans win. Then they hopped on a plane and traveled to Las Vegas that night. They're staying, I think, by some sort of lake out there, right, Derek? What lake is that? You know.
Well, they did this 9-minute video that they released, and kudos to the incredible video crew, RJ Garcia, and
Cam
team over
Radford.
there. Yeah, Cam Radford, obviously. 9-minute video. Nick Starkel was wearing a 49ers jersey, so I don't know if that's a little hint on who Kyle Shanahan should draft, but that's for April's show of this program. They're staying at the Westin Lake Las Vegas, so they're nowhere near the Strip. But this season, like I've mentioned, it's been like a gamble. They put all their chips in. Let's go to Humboldt State. A lot of blowback on that one, and then they've been undefeated since. And then this little, the Santa Clara County, they're kind of dealt a bad hand. All the teams, Santa Clara County, Niners, Stanford, Santa Clara University, dealt bad hand with they can't play their home games, no contact sports. Okay, let's just go to Hawaii, and now they're at the entertainment capital of the world. And just like Britney Spears said, it's going to be a circus this week and next week. So buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. And I know Max's family's from New York, so he might go ride with Nick Starkel crew on that roller coaster at New York, New York.
Touching on the score from last week, we got to review the predictions from our last week's preview show. Derek shaking his head. He remains winless in the little running prediction competition we have going here on the show. He was off by a net 17. So not only does he remain winless, he was off by the most this week. I'm sorry, Derek. I mean, 42-34 prediction sounded good on paper, but the winner ended up being myself. I know. Thank you. I win again, much to the dismay of Max Miller. I was off by a net 4 with a 35-28 prediction. Stevie Corio came in second, off by a net 7 points, and Max by a net 9. So hanging in there. Let's see if Matthew Gonzalez here can dethrone us all tonight with his prediction as we get to that later in the show. But Matt, San Jose State versus the Wolfpack in Las Vegas. Wolfpack 6-1, two of the best teams in the Mountain West. What do the Spartans have to look for in the Wolfpack and be ready for?
Well, this season, I love the Britney Spears insert there. There's two types of people in the world: the ones that entertain and the ones that observe. And the Spartans have given us something to really admire. But what I think the Spartans need to do is they need to capitalize off of both of their running game and their passing game. I think that Nevada is the team that can match them the most in the aerial attack. And so there was no better time for the Spartans to get their run game going than last week against Hawaii, which hopefully it'll translate onto the mainland in Las Vegas.
Indeed. A great thing that the Spartans got the running game going last week, and hopefully that'll prove significant tonight in Las Vegas. Last season, on October 12th, 2019, Spartans traveled to Reno, Nevada, wonderful city, to play the Wolfpack, and it was a heartbreaking game. I actually made the trip out there myself, a solo trip to call the game, and my grandpa came down. They live closer to Lake Tahoe, and got to call the game with him sitting there. So that was very special for me to have him there. I couldn't tell you what happened to that game tape, but that memory will live on forever. Just having my grandpa there, and he did some broadcasting himself. So Grandpa, I know you're watching this, and won't forget that day either. But it was a pretty terrific game as well. The Wolfpack won 41-38 with a field goal with 40 seconds left on the clock. And it was very reminiscent of the Spartans versus Aztec game this season, or should I say that game was reminiscent of this Spartan Wolfpack game last season, as Josh Love went out in Reno on the first drive, and Nick Nash had to come in and perform very well the rest of the game, keeping it that close. Just a field goal decided that one. So what do we think will happen tonight in Las Vegas, and what do we think our predictions are, starting with Max?
Well, Ryan, my 3 keys, we're going to go with the usual. Bend, but don't break on defense. However, that comes with a caveat. Like Matthew said, this is the first team, I think, all season that can match San Jose State's aerial attack. all season on defense, it's been stop the run, let the D-line work, and you can get by with the pass. Well, this is going to be the first and probably only week, unless we face Nevada again in the Mountain West Championship, that will really be testing our secondary, how our coverage looks. If we can get any coverage sacks, that could be huge. Create the D-line, create some trouble. The run game is not terrible from Nevada. However, it's not great. They're averaging only about 107 rush yards a game. So control the run, and let's see how the secondary can work. Key number 2 is Nick Starkel's got to cook. He's got to cook. This is why he came here. This is the game that he needs to ball out. He's averaging, San Jose State as a team is averaging 270 yards passing a game, only allowing 221. And Nevada's allowing 240 passing yards a game, but they are having themselves 334 pass yards a game. So if San Jose State needs and wants to stay in this, which I'm pretty sure they want to, Starkel's got to have a game, meaning he's got to get Bailey Gaither and Trey Walker involved early and often. And my third key is just play hard. I think it's stop their passing attack. We know what their defense is. Nick Starkel, get the wide receivers going early is key too, and play hard and give it everything you got. This is the season on the line. This is what they've worked for. This is what 5-0 has done for them, even with the 2 cancellations, not being able to play in Spartan Stadium. This is it. This is the time. But now on to the more important things, the betting lines. San Jose State favored by 3 points. I'm going to take San Jose State here to win by a score of 42-38. A 4-point win, and that is also over on the 59. I missed my over-under last week, but stop their pass, get Walker and Gaither involved early, and play as hard as you can. Do what you were trained and practiced to do all season long. Give it everything you have. If you come up short, just play, just walk out of there saying this was a great season. And who knows, you might still get in that Mountain West Championship game if Boise State loses. But they have it in their own hands. Take control, win the game with those 3 steps. San Jose State, 42. Nevada, 38.
And you were off by just 1 on your over last week, right?
Yeah, so the over-under was 60. I said over. Well, really 2, because if it's 60, it doesn't count. It's a push. But the over-under is 59 this week. I say it's going to go 42-38. That's way over. That's 80 points. So I think it's going to be a shootout. I think these passing attacks are going to go crazy. I'm sorry for those who took the over, but the money line was correct. It was Spartans 2.5, and they won by 19. So.
Well, the keys for the Spartans is going to be a balanced attack. But what I think, we are really emphasizing the Nevada, passing attack. But last season in the game against the Wolfpack, running back Toa Tawa did have a very good game against the Spartans. And how tragic would it be if, he ended up biting the Spartans in the proverbial butt again. But I think the Spartans, if they can run well and pass well, they can beat anybody in the conference. So I really think it's just a balanced attack. I'm not leaning too heavily on one thing or the other. Because the Spartans, like Coach Brennan said, are at their best when they can run the ball and pass the ball effectively. I would say a prediction. Well, I did the math, and this is kind of irrelevant. Every game's different, but Nevada is averaging 31 points a game. Spartans are averaging 30. They only played 5, so that's a little skewed. So I'm going to go ahead and give the Spartans an extra field goal. I'm going to go Spartans 33, Wolfpack 31.
Oh, I love that prediction for Matthew. I think Max has been a little down in the dumps. If you don't know Max, if you could tell by his lovely studios, a.k.a. his casa in Pleasanton, he's a Jets fan. And we all know what happened last Sunday with 5 seconds to go. Thought I'd just throw that in there. And let's just focus on this game. And I think Spartans will take care of business 31-27. And Carson Strong, though, he's been looking, I know he won the Mountain West Conference Offensive Player of the Week, and he has a terrific cast of characters alongside him. Torrey Holton and Cole Turner, easily coming out. And then the Wolfpack, they've been missing some key defensive guys. They're getting back E.J. Muhammad, their starting cornerback, Don Peterson, their star defensive lineman. So I know the Wolfpack means something special with the Hangover movie, but it's not going to be any special at Sam Boyd Stadium. So, 31-27 Spartans. And Ryan, get ready. We're going to do a video next week, son.
I like to think we are. We're going to dive into the scenarios in a little bit. 7 out of 9 have the Spartans as the number 1 seed in the Mountain West Championship game. We'll dive into that in a moment. The all-time series between Nevada and San Jose State. Nevada leads 22-9 and 2, dating back to 1899. So it is quite a storied rivalry between the Spartans and the Wolfpack. I'm going to take the lowest prediction out of all 4 of ours this week. I think all season I've been saying, man, I hope we see a game come down to a final field goal with the last drive or, last couple seconds. And how great would it be to get the winning field goal for Brennan's first win with the Spartans against the Wolfpack. He has not defeated Nevada since coming on board in 2017. So how sweet would it be for Matt Mercurio to finally get that game-winning field goal that I've been wanting to see all season tonight in Las Vegas and lift the Spartans to a 27-24 victory to go 6-0 and continue their perfect winning streak, first since 1939. I think that, Derek, you said earlier that was the golden year from movies, or the golden standard, with Gone with the Wind and Wizard of Oz, right?
Yep.
So how sweet would it be for the Spartans to get this one against the Wolfpack? And let's dive into the scenarios, as aforementioned by Derek. Reddit College Football, Reddit CFB, tweeted a graphic breaking down the 2 games that are of utmost importance for the Mountain West Championship game. And that is the Spartans at the Wolfpack in Las Vegas, so a neutral site. No one's really playing at home. And Boise State at Wyoming, in Wyoming, against the Pokes. So there are 9 scenarios that have that are possible without one of the teams having an out of conference matchup. So these are all conference scenarios. 7 of which have the Spartans being the number 1 seed in the Mountain West, and we'll just dive into those. A kind of rapid fire here. Spartans win. Boise State wins their respective contests. Then the Spartans and Broncos will face off in the Mountain West Championship. By the way, that is a possible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 scenarios that have the Spartans and Broncos in the final out of 9, which would be long overdue as that matchup got canceled earlier in the season. And I know that would be very, very much looked forward to and anticipated. If the Spartans win and the Cowboys win, Spartans would face the Broncos as the same seeding. Spartans 1, Broncos 2. Spartans win, Boise State versus Wyoming canceled. Same thing. Spartans and Boise 1 and 2 in the championship game. If the Spartans lose to the Wolfpack, then they have the chance of being the number 1 seed if Wyoming wins and beats Boise State. If the Spartans at Wolfpack is canceled, which is always a possibility in this COVID era, and Boise State wins or Wyoming wins, or if that game is canceled, and the Spartans are number 1 in the Mountain West Championship game. So those are all your scenarios where the Spartans are number 1. There's only 2 scenarios that don't have the Spartans in the championship game. So on paper, it looks good. And from this graphic, it looks good. And I think I'd be willing to bet we'll see the Spartans in the championship game next Saturday, December 19th, which should be very exciting. No word on where that is quite yet, right, gentlemen?
No.
Any predictions for that?
Well, I think the game will be in Viva Las Vegas. I don't see unfortunately, the new ordinance from Santa Clara County is not going to change. So it will be in Las Vegas. Hope if it's at Allegiant Stadium, I mean, how nice would that look? Boise State, San Jose State. But yeah, it'll be in Las Vegas. I know Max wants to go eat a Nathan's hot dog at New York, and near Park MGM. So
7 out of 9 scenarios have the Spartans as the number 1 seed, and it's been quite a season for the blue and gold. And how cool would it be to see Spartans versus the Boise State Broncos? A game that was canceled a week before the Hawaii game, and that one was very much looked forward to. And Derek, I think if that was played at Allegiant Stadium, that would be pretty spectacular.
Yeah, it would. New stadium. I'm not a Raiders fan. I know none of us here are Raiders fans, but I would just like to get off the football topic for a little bit. I suffered a personal tragedy over the weekend. About 5 minutes before the San Jose State Hawaii game, my grandmother passed away from COVID-19. She would have turned 90 years old on Christmas Eve. And it's been tough for me personally, just going through this, especially going through it with finals. So, you get dealt a bad hand, since we're at the, we're on the casino theme, right? So you get dealt a bad hand, and then you just have to live with that. But I just want to say thank you to all of you guys, all the readers from the Spear, and all the listeners at KSJS. And yes, we'll be broadcasting that game, but you can find it on the website. That's a different story for a different day, because your support means everything to me. And if you guys reached out via social media or personally, thank you so much. And of course, my Spear brothers and sisters, the 3 that are on this video here watching before, you guys are hopefully safely tailgating at your casa. And hopefully you're safely tailgating. And also my Spear brothers and sisters that we've been doing the class settings with. It's been unique, but thank you for your support and prayers. And also thank you to my family, my friends, for also their support and prayers as well. And Grandma, I'll get this degree for you. And that's why I'm wearing this jade green shirt. She always wore this jade green bracelet. So yeah, it is. It sucks that, we're going through this thing, but if there's one positive to take away from it, is just to appreciate your loved ones more. And San Jose State football has been a couple of positive lights in a really dark and dismal 2020.
100%. Derek, thank you for sharing that. And you've been in my thoughts and prayers all week long. So we've loved having you on our football preview show all semester. And I know you'll be continuing with us into the spring. So it should be a fun spring semester. But we hope you all stay safe and healthy while you're watching San Jose State at Las Vegas. And same with the Wolfpack at Las Vegas. Neutral site. Tonight, 7 p.m., CBS Sports Network. If you have cable, you have the game. Or you can stream it. You can find it online somewhere with ease. So, again, thank you all for watching. For my co-hosts, Max Miller, Derek Au, and Matthew Gonzalez, enjoy the game, everybody, and we really hope we get to see you next week on the Spears Football Preview Show.